When's the last time that I've thanked you for being here so early in the morning? I know it's actually really early for a lot of you guys out there, and the fact that you're making it here for little old me to talk about my JRPG news and shill my mugs every once in a while means a whole lot to me. So thanks for being here. It really is like the highlight of my week. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the JRPG Weekly Update. That's right, weekly. I've managed to actually make this JRPG Weekly Update happen weekly. It is no longer weekly-ish, because for those of you who haven't been keeping score at home, this makes 3 straight months of weekly JRPG Weekly Update videos. And if you like having these weekly updates, don't forget to hit that like button. And you know the way the YouTube algorithm works these days, the more views I get when the video first comes out, the better YouTube treats me. So for those of you who are at home, hitting that notification bell, that actually makes a huge difference, and I appreciate you so much. With that all out of the way, we've got some news to talk about today. We've got a new American-made JRPG that's been announced. We got some new release date updates, a bunch of new trailers that came out this week, and a demo. But before we really get to any of that, we've got some headlines to talk to you about today. The first real big headline that I really wanted to talk to you guys about today, it's tangentially related to JRPGs in a way, but I feel like this sort of bears talking about, at least a little bit. Japan's hero that we deserve. Yamada Taro recently won an election in Japan for a spot in the Japanese House of Councilors, a role similar to that of senators. Don't click away yet, this is why it's important. The guy ran on a platform of anti-censorship in an attempt to protect anime, manga, and video games, including JRPGs. Now, with this platform, Yamada actually won against all of his competitors, not just winning though, but he did so by a wide margin, by like a landslide. With this platform that he ran on, he was able to break through the apathy of the young voting bloc. This is overall great news for people who just, can appreciate artwork and feel like it should be able to be experienced in its purest form. This also must be stated that he's still just one guy. But the fact that this actually has proven to be popular so far, it may become the spark that ignites a trend that could result in meaningful change that we see here in the States. And for people who are wondering what this video is, I'll go ahead and unmute this. This is his actual campaigning van in which he was actually blasting music from Miku. So it's kind of an interesting, an otaku voting bloc in Japan just got a Senate House seat. Crazy, right? So moving on to something a little more directly related to JRPGs, Square Enix did announce that they will be making an announcement for an upcoming Eric-related Dragon Quest announcement on August 3rd. First, let's hope that they're not going to announce a mobile game. And second, let's also hope that it's not an MMO. But lastly, I'm hoping the most that this is actually going to be finally some more news on that Dragon Quest Monsters game that they've been oddly silent about regarding since the release of Dragon Quest XI. I'm talking about that Dragon Quest Monsters game that was going to feature Eric and his sister. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a prequel or a sequel or a follow-up to the story of Dragon Quest XI, but it's going to be those two kind of doing their own thieving thing, and I think that's going to be super cool. Hopefully that's what this is about. Anyways, keep your eyes peeled for that on August 3rd. And if it's something super cool, there might just be a limit-breaking news update that I'll put out. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We got a new game that was announced this week. This is that Japanese-style American-made JRPG. It's a strategy RPG called Tears of Avia, and it was just recently announced as coming to PC and Xbox One in Q4 of this year. What kind of struck me about this particular announcement is the trailers being shown right here. It definitely has a bit of fan service in it. That definitely stands out a little bit, but the fact of the matter is that the art style actually looks like authentic Japanese style illustrations. Maybe they outsourced it or something, but this actually so far, it looks the part of a Japanese style RPG. And this is why I have been, in my mind, substituting JRPG for Japanese style RPG. I feel like Western development companies like this one can make JRPGs. I really do think so, but you know, I've got another video lined up for something like that down the line. We'll talk about that more later. Then I've got a little bit of a release date update here for fans of the Super Robot Wars series. Super Robot Wars, I'm not sure if this is V and X or 5 and 10. I don't know how many Super Robot Wars games there are, but anyways, Super Robot Wars V and X are going to be coming to Nintendo Switch and to PC here pretty soon. The Switch version of V is going to be released in Japan here on October 3rd, 2019, and it looks like we're also likely to be getting these in the States, although it sounds like there will be about another week or so before we get an official update regarding that specifically. Also, we've got a Western release for Sakura, or Project Sakura Wars. The latest one here is going to be coming out in Japan December 12th of this year, but a Western release is planned for spring of 2020 now. In other news, last week, Square Enix released the Oni Naki Demo, which so far has been getting some pretty positive reviews. This is a Tokyo RPG Factory action RPG that looks pretty neat. They showed it off at E3 a little bit this year, and I thought it looked pretty cool. I haven't yet got a chance to play the demo, though. There is a demo for PC, PS4, and Nintendo Switch, though, so if you're at all interested, you can go download that and play that right now. The full version of Oni Naki, though, will be launching on October 22nd this year. In community news, AJ Piano has started his own YouTube channel, and he's still very new to YouTube. He's only got a few videos up, but essentially what he's doing is piano covers of JRPG soundtracks, and so far these covers are just beautifully done, and I just felt like this is something I'd like to show you guys. It's really hard to get started on YouTube, so if you're at all interested in listening to some classic JRPG soundtracks via an amazing pianist, definitely go check out this guy's work and make sure to follow his channel there. Also, in SuperDerek news, last week I released a couple of edited and reworked bits from that 6-year anniversary live stream, and I've preliminarily decided there's going to be about 7 more videos in this series that I'm calling Ask SuperDerek. So starting tomorrow on Tuesday, I'm actually going to be releasing one video every day until they're all released. Except for on Monday next week, I'm going to probably skip that day just so I don't have more than one video per day. But anyway, the videos are going to include subjects of just general getting started on YouTube, anime, my RPG philosophy, some general advice that I have for RPGs, and a lot more subjects actually. So be sure to keep your eyes out for those. And again, watching those when they come out really makes a big difference. And for new RPGs that are coming out this week, we've got Illusion of Laphasia. Now, if that sounds familiar, it's because this game actually just came out for Xbox One last week. This is that Kemco RPG that is, so far, it's actually received pretty positive reviews overall. And also this week, we're getting 2 roguelike RPGs from D3 publisher called Labyrinth Life and Omega Labyrinth Life. Now, for those who aren't already familiar with this, Omega Labyrinth Life is coming to Nintendo Switch in its pretty much unaltered form. As opposed to the PlayStation 4 version, Labyrinth Life is coming to Sony PlayStation as just Labyrinth Life because Sony decided the game was just a little too risque to come to the United States in its unmodified form and has had its Omega removed, if you know what I mean. So, if you're interested in checking out either of these games, be sure you do a little bit of research into them and make sure that you know what the differences are between the two. Now, for this week's question of the week, because we've been talking a little bit today about the topic of censorship, let's try to have some civil discourse below about the subject of censorship in RPGs and in video games in general. Are you for censorship in video games, and why or why not? Now, last week I did try to start up a little bit of a fun scrap with the question that I posed to you guys. However, this time around, I kind of want the exact opposite of that. Let's keep calm and keep it civil. Please note that insulting the opposition will result in your comment being removed or worse. So let's keep it calm and let's talk about what you think the merits of censorship are or not. What are your thoughts on this? I'd really be curious to know what it really comes down to. What do you think? Now, if you've made it this far into the video, make sure you don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more JRPG weekly news every week. I am SuperDerek, and this has all been news to me.